Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another Madden 22 video. In today's episode, we're going to be rebuilding my favorite team, aka the Baltimore Ravens. For those of you guys saying, oh my god, you were just a Lamar Jackson MVP bandwagon, I have a bunch of jerseys on my wall. I'm not going to show it to you because obviously I don't have a face cam. I have a Ray Rice jersey, a Joe Flacco, an Alex Collins jersey. Unfortunately, I thought Alex Collins was going to be on our team for a long time. I really liked him. But then I realized the Ravens don't re-sign running backs. We recycle them. Then I have Lamar Jackson. Then I have Marlon Humphrey as my jerseys currently. So, obviously, my jersey luck has not been going that well. But, anyways, apart from that fact, we are getting into this rebuild today. And starting off, Lamar Jackson. I don't know what's up with Lamar Jackson because we have not accepted his fifth-year deal yet. I'm assuming we're going to manage that in the offseason. But Lamar... I have a love-hate relationship with Lamar. For those guys saying, oh my god, it's just you have a love-hate relationship with Lamar because he's horrible in the playoffs. Ha ha ha. No, it's not that he's bad in the playoffs. It's just he gives up so much. As a Ravens fan, I can easily say that. Like, you'll see him fighting and fighting in the first half, and then as soon as something doesn't go his way, you'll just see him just half-ass most of his reps. You'll see him not play. It's just very annoying to watch him sometimes. But whenever he gets going and you see a spark in him, he's gone. You're never going to catch him. He's just going for the rest of the game. But as soon as one thing doesn't go his way, he just collapses and just refuses to play. I don't know what's up with that with Lamar. It irritates me a lot, and it loses us a lot of games. But I'm glad that the Ravens didn't make the playoffs this year, because if we made the playoffs, I knew we would have been a first-round exit. I wanted a better draft pick this year, and with that draft pick, I want to take, I don't remember his first name, but I know his last name is Cross. I think it's out of Mississippi State, the offensive tackle. I want that because our O-line is atrocious without Ronnie Stanley, and we need him desperately. So there's that. There's that, number one, and then I would also, I maybe want an edge rusher. Everyone says we need receiver. We don't need receiver. We are a running team. We are in a running scheme. Once we have J.K. Dobbins and the Gus the Bus back, we will be a successful team. That is how it is. Devontae Freeman, Latavius Murray, in real life, I don't think they're going to be on this team, so I am going to cut them because I just don't think they're going to be on this team anymore in real life. I think after free agency, they are gone. Another player that I am going to say will be gone after this offseason is Alejandro Villanueva. This dude sucks. He is horrible. Why is this cap hit so high? I accidentally took the penalty. I meant to lower that because in the offseason, technically, we just took a $7 million cap penalty. It's fine. I know in the offseason, they're going to cut him. Sammy Watkins, this guy's contract ends this year, right? Hopefully it does. Yeah, it does. I'll just let it ride out, but I know the Ravens aren't going to re-sign him. So for that being, I'm going to put Rashad Bateman at the second string receiver and Duvernay at the third string. And yeah, move him down. Also, move up. I'm going to move up Porsche because Porsche honestly deserves more reps. Boykin is just a bust. I just need to admit it at this point. He's gotten some reps, but whenever he did, it was never impressive. Watkins is going to be moved down. Porsche, I think James Porsche, I believe it is. James it is? Yeah, James Porsche deserves more reps. O-line. Tyree Phillips, I'm going to start him just because he has star dev. That's the only reason, but he hasn't been that impressive for the Ravens, I'm not going to lie. Ronnie Stanley is amazing whenever he's healthy. Doesn't happen very often, though. I think the Ravens need to restructure his contract. In the offseason, you can't have an injury-prone left tackle and then him just never play. It's very annoying. It's like Tyron Smith with the Cowboys. Bradley Bozeman, he's solid, but I don't think he deserves a re-sign. Kevin Zeitler was not horrible for the Ravens. He was actually decent enough to play. And I believe this is Jawan James. Whatever. He's just there. Patrick McCarr, I don't know how I feel about him. I feel like he doesn't deserve a re-sign. He's all right, but he's nothing special. Mark Andrews, people can even argue with the injuries with George Kittle. Some people, I'm not going to say he is personally, but some people can say for this season alone, Mark Andrews was the best tight end in the league for this season alone. But I'm going to say my top three tight ends. Kelsey is at number one just because he's healthier more often. Availability is better than ability. I can say that for sure. And then Kittle, and then Andrews. That's how to rate my top three. And then Boyle, great blocking tight end, very good. I don't know what we're going to do with Patrick Ricard, but in Madden, I'm probably going to let him go because I can just move Boyle to fullback. In real life, though, I think we might re-sign him. Defensively, looking into it, So Brandon Williams, he's going to have to go. He's just too far. He's too far gone. He's too old. Derek Wolfe will have to go as well. Justin Dubuque, I want him to start. Yeah, I want him to start for sure. I think he'll be great if he gets more reps. Calais Campbell, I do think the Ravens are going to resign on like a 1 or 2 year deal. So there's that. Marlon Humphrey is great. I have his jersey. Don't need to explain it. I think he's amazing at tackling. He goes for the ball every single time when it comes to tackling. He's very locked down in terms of coverage, though. Marcus Peters is our ball hawk player whenever he's healthy. He tore his ACL at the beginning of the season, or it's his MCL. Either way, he tore something. Averett actually kind of stepped up. Anthony Averett. I would say re-sign him, but I don't know how I feel about him. He's just... If we can sign him, it has to be a cheap deal. Jimmy Smith is going to have to go in the offseason for the Ravens. Tavon Young, I think he's going to have to go too. Even though he has potential, he's just, yeah. I can't see him as a Raven because he has such a high injury problem. Deshaun Elliott is the exact same thing. Deshaun Elliott is great when he's on the field, but injury problem, it's so big. Odafe Away had a great rookie season. I believe he had 8 sacks. He had a lot of QB hits. Patrick Queen had a bit of a down year this year, but his rookie year, he did play good. I'm going to start him at middle linebacker 1. Justin Houston was pretty good for the Ravens. I think he'll re-sign with them, but I don't think he's, for me, I'm not going to be able to re-sign him in Madden because he's old. Tony Jefferson, we just signed in free agency. I really don't like Tony Jefferson. Chuck Clark, we signed on a deal earlier last year, so we're going to have to rock with him. I'm going to move this team into a 4-3. And then just go from there because base 4-3 is what usually works the best in vertical zone run and Madden simulation. So that's what I'm going to go with. I know I've been talking for a long time about this, but I have to give my 2 cents on everything for some reason. Justin Houston, I'm not even going to move him down. It really doesn't even matter just because, it's the final season. I'm not even going to be re-signing him. It really doesn't matter. I have Pernell McPhee behind him anyways. Just... no interest in moving them down. Not going to waste my time with that. Special teams, Justin Tucker, the GOAT kicker. Dogs are barking. Sorry if you hear that in the background. Duvernay at the kick returner, punt returner. I will leave Bateman in the slot. It's fine. I'm cool with him there. Patrick Queen, I'm going to start at sub linebacker. Tyus Bowser I like, but I don't know if he's going to be a good deal for us long term. I like everything else here. Sure, I'll move Tavon Young there. And apart from that, guys... I'm going to let Gus the Bus be my third down back and let JK just be my elusive back. So it's now time to move into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a win to the Bungles as we are at week 8. Our defense is doing horrible. It's 15th in points per game. That's what I care about. I don't care if our passing is 31st or if our defensive rush game is 28th. Points per game is what matters. If we can hold teams to lower points, we win games. We're in a passing scheme. We are 3rd in points per game and 3rd in passing offense. We shouldn't be in a passing scheme. We should be in a running scheme. I'll probably switch that, but at the same time, we're 6-1, top of the division, so the passing scheme is what we're going to stick with, despite the Ravens being a running team. Why would I ever remove something that's being successful? Let's choose the draft class here. I'm going to be targeting an offensive tackle. Devontae Howard is at the top of the board out of Georgia, but obviously us being 6-1, we're not going to have that. Players ready to negotiate. Let's see who we have here. Calais Campbell, I seriously think he's going to come back on a 1 or 2 year deal with the Ravens, so that's what I'm going to sign him to. And he wants more money. I don't know if I can do that. Deshaun Elliott, Patrick Ricard, I do think the Ravens will resign in real life. I don't know if I need him in Madden, but I'll resign him anyways. So let's do that. Deshaun Elliott. I don't think the Ravens will re-sign him, and if they do, it's going to be a stupid, stupid cheap deal. Yeah, in terms of Madden, yeah, but in real life, I can't see it. As a Ravens fan, I'm trying to see this future as much as I can. I'm going to trade him to get some value out of him, but I don't know what the Ravens will genuinely do with him. I don't know if they're going to re-sign him or just re-sign him on a 1 year deal just to trade him. Do I make the Chiefs even more overpowered? I'll make the Colts powered up and get an offensive line from the Colts because Braden Smith would be awesome, but I don't think it's fair just to straight up do that for Braden Smith. So I'll throw in a 3rd round pick, and I think that would be fair. Oh, no. Apparently the Colts don't think it's fair. That's fine with me. Let's do that. Does that work? They want more. I mean, we'll give up our 2nd round pick considering we're so projected to be so good. Do that, second round pick. And let's do a later 5. Deshaun Elliott, a second round pick, and a 5th gets me Braden Smith. Definitely needed that offensive tackle. Huge for the team. Love to see it. Brandon Williams, Justin Houston can let hit free agency. Anthony Averett. This is a stupid cheap deal. I think in real life they'll give him like a short contract, but in Madden I'm not going to give him a short contract. I want him as a depth player long term. As long as it's a cheap deal, I think the Ravens will re-sign Anthony Averett, and he re-signs Bradley Bozeman. I think they're going to let him walk. Geno Stone, Ellis, Tyler Huntley. I think they'll re-sign Tyler Huntley in real life, but I'm not going to in Madden because I'm not going to pay a second string QB $5 million a year. So anyways, guys, it's time to move to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs as we missed the playoffs going 9-8. Nice. I love Madden. It's, I mean, actually, you know what? I do love you, Madden, because that actually summed up the Ravens season. We started off really nice and then tanked. So you know what that means? Going to a running scheme we go. Where do we go? We are going to go with our own playbook. Let's try that, considering that other one did not work last time. So we're going to go into a running scheme this time. We're going to go to stats and awards and see what we got here. Lamar was great, but of course, we're in a passing scheme, so of course he's going to be 8th best offense, 30th best defense. Nice, sure. 5,000 yards, 39 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. J.K. Dobbins, 13 TDs, 3.3 per carry is horrible. Marquise Brown, 1,400 yards, 5 TDs, great season. Rashad Bateman, 10 TDs, 1,000 yards, great season. Mark Andrews, 1,000 yards, 12 TDs. That should get an X factor. I'm going to give Mark Andrews an X factor for that, if the CPU doesn't. Malik Harrison had a great season. Patrick Queen, 127. Marcus Peters, 112. Tackles for a loss, 14 for Justin Houston. Sacks, 11.5 for Justin Houston, 11 for Calais Campbell. I understand that Justin Houston had a great season, but in Madden he's going to continue to regress, so I'm not going to resign him. Interceptions, 3 for Marlon Humphrey. Safeties on the team is going to be 1 for Odafe Away, and 0 defensive touchdowns. So apart from that, guys, it is now time to move in to the offseason. And very identical to the Super Bowl, just the Bengals were 3 points off. 23-17, Robert Woods, Super Bowl MVP. Christian McCaffrey wins league MVP, and there are no awards here for the Ravens. Unfortunately, Odafe Away did not get Rookie of the Year in this Madden simulation. Let's look at the roster, see if there is any development upgrades. Offensively, Mark Andrews just got X Factor. I didn't even have to give it to him. Everyone else here looks the same. Defensively, looking into it, Houston got star dev, no surprise. Humphrey got X Factor. That's awesome. And I don't need anyone else here. Brandon Williams is regressing. I'm sure he'll retire once I simulate to this next week. But hopefully we can re-sign Calais Campbell because I do think it's going to happen in real life. If we can't, I might just try to snag him in free agency for a year. But let's look at the 2021 retirements here. We're going to go to Andrew Whitworth retires. AFC North. And Josh Johnson retires after 13 years in the league. That's cool. Doesn't really matter to me. We're going to go to the players ready to negotiate here to see what we have. Calais Campbell has regressed heavily. I'm not going to pay him $20 million a year for 1 year. Man, I'm not going to do that for an 84 overall. I'm just going to go to free agency and see what I can do. Brandon Williams, no. Justin Houston, no. Bradley Bozeman. Everyone else here I already gave my opinion on. I don't want any of these guys, so let's move in to free agency. Here we are after free agency. I only went after Marcus Williams to replace Deshaun Elliott. And I think that was a good signing. I need to save up my money to re-sign Lamar for a longer deal. So apart from that, let's move to the draft. In the first round, we're picking up Bryce Edmond, right guard out of UCF. Hidden development, 87 strength, indicates he probably has like a 68 overall. But I saw the A run block power, and C run block finesse, and B impact block, and thought it was good enough. I know his pass block finesse is a D, but at the same time, he has hidden dev. That's what matters. Okay, so this is the team after the draft. And if you didn't already know, I had to switch Tyree Phillips around and Edmond, and I had to cut Ben Powers because the CPU wouldn't arrange the team how I wanted them to arrange the team. It just kept flipping my players over and over and over again. It was the most frustrating thing ever. Anyways, I'm going to cut Jawan James. Don't need him anymore. He's taking up cap room on this team. CPU will sign depth players for this team. Kevin Zeitler, I'm going to move into center in particular. So that way we have a center in general, if that makes any sense, which it does, I'm sure. Move Kevin Zeitler into center, and we should be good there. Mark Andrews is an X factor. We're in a running scheme now, so do note Lamar probably will take a step down. Cherry, oh man, Antoine Cherry could have been Buster Cherry. That guy was probably picked in the 4th round. Derek Wolfe is not going to be here for long. Odafe away. I'm going to move down to left end, or is Matt Buke Justin? He's a right end. Okay, I'm making sure. Away, I'm going to move down to left end, so that way, get it? Wait, I should shut up. Anyways, you know what I mean. I'm trying to make him an edge rusher. He can't be in this scheme. It's not good for the team. Defensively, bro, can you please play your position? I moved you to left end. Play your position. This is so infuriating. I hate it when the CPU does this. I know Tyus Bowser is also an edge rusher, considerably. But how much does it... Derek Wolfe, I'll just write out his contract. It's fine. Everything else here is good. Jalen Ferguson, Hayes, specialist. Let's see what we got. Duvernay's there. Move you there. I'm going to move Dobbins just to the starter so that way he can get more reps. Patrick Queen, move you here. Got everything I want. I like that a lot. So apart from that, guys, it is now time to move into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a loss to the Jets. Okay, cool. We are 4-3, second in the division, a very highly contested division. So if we miss out on the playoffs again, I wouldn't be too surprised. Let's look at the players ready to negotiate. Lamar, he should get a 5th-year deal, but if I'm being honest, by the end of this season, he's going to be higher overall, which means he's going to be more money to re-sign. So I'm just going to capitalize on this now before he gets any better. Up the money for him, and he re-signs. Marcus Peters, I do want, not for $15 million a year though. Marquise Brown would be a better option long term, so let's up the money for him there. And he resigns, and everyone else here is not, especially Tavon Young. He's even regressing. I don't even want Tavon Young anymore. Everyone else here is not of interest to me. So apart from that, guys, it is now time to move into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs as we are coming off a win to the Panthers. 10-7 sneaking into the playoffs. I'm sure we have like the 7th seed or something. We have the 6th seed here to face the Tennessee Titans. So that's interesting. Tennessee Titans seems to be more of a playoff rival than any other team. Lamar obviously didn't do great passing other than touchdowns. Pretty solid for a running scheme. 13th best offense, 3rd best defense in the NFL. Nice. 3,800 yards, 32 TDs, 11 interceptions, 68% completion percentage. For how little reps he got passing, did pretty good. I like that. J.K. Dobbins, 1,200 yards, 3.6 per carry sucks. 11 TDs. Lamar, 10 TDs, 4.6 per carry, and 794 yards. 3.6 per carry is horrible. I don't like that. Mark Andrews, obviously receiving stats aren't very good, but Andrews got the most targets and with Marquise Brown, so that makes sense. Looking into it defensively, Patrick Queen, 118 tackles for a loss, 15 for Matt Buke. Sacks 9 for Jason Away. His nickname's Jason Away. I don't know why, but he goes by Odafe Away too. So Odafe Away, I'll call him that. 4 interceptions for Marlon Humphrey. Safeties on the team, 0 defensive touchdowns is going to be 0. So let's see if we can beat the 11-6 Tennessee Titans, as this rivalry is currently 1-1 from recent times, of course, not like way back when. We beat them 38-9, pummeling them into the ground. Let's see if we can beat the 12-5 divisional rivals, the Cincinnati Bengals, to move on to the conference championship. And we lost 28-25, close game. So let's move in to the offseason. And Patrick Mahomes beats Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl and wins Super Bowl MVP. Joe Mixon wins league MVP, interesting, and Offensive Player of the Year. There are no Ravens awards here, so let's see what we have offensively for us to see the development upgrades. Offensively, J.K. Dobbins didn't get it, which is good. Edmund only has star dev, which is fine. It looks like Kevin Zeitler, he didn't retire, he just got benched for no reason. I love how the CPU just arranges crap for me, even though I never ask it to. And then looking into it defensively, it looks like we are the exact same. Wow, what a great team. Anyways, I'm surprised how that defense is ranked 3rd in the league. Let's get to the re-signed players to see who we have retired and who we are going to sign in the offseason. Now I can basically go all out with my money because there's no one in particular that I need to re-sign. I think Andrews is already on a big contract. Yeah, so I think I can try to go all out in free agency. Let's go to the... Keep passing it every time. AFC North. Cameron Hayward and Mitchell Schwartz retires. Mitchell Schwartz probably shouldn't return to the NFL. $17 million to spend in free agency. I don't know if that's enough. I don't think I want to spend anything. Marcus Peters, no. Sam Cook, no. Everyone else here is just no for me. So I'm going to get into free agency, try and re-sign Marcus Peters on a super cheap deal because I know he won't take one if I try and re-sign him here. So let's get to free agency. So the Patriots ended up signing Marcus Peters. So now I have Bryce Callahan, who I got on a stupid cheap deal. I'm going to have to either target a DB in the draft or a center. So let's get to it. In the draft, I'm taking LaMarcus Beckham, hidden dev, probably one of the best late round DBs I've ever seen. B awareness, B block shedding, B catching, B press. And I was like, all across the boards, B, why not? So I took him. He seems to be pretty good out of Washington State. This is the team after the draft. Offensively, we look the same. And defensively, looking into it, Beckham is a 76 overall. Wow. That's pretty good. I'm going to start him over Averett. Branch is a 70 overall. I picked him up in the second round. Well, 68 without the boost, but technically I'm going to say 70. What did I think the right outside linebacker, was it this guy? The CPU picked up this guy. No, it was a right outside linebacker in the third round. This guy. Harris, 65 overall, doesn't seem that good. I didn't pick him. Washington, Witherspoon, okay. Not very good players, but not very bad players. Beckham was a good pick, though, I will admit that. So anyways, guys, apart from that, it's time to move to the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 5-1 top of the division. Remember the last time we had that simulation where we were 6-1 top of the division? Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Coming off a bye week as we were here to face the Vikings, who are a pretty good team. Players ready to negotiate. J.K. Dobbins, of course, we're going to want him back. Wasn't a first-round pick, so we don't get a fifth-year option. $5 million a year, he resigns. J. Tuck, of course, we got to resign the GOAT and up that money for him because he is the GOAT and he resigns. Patrick Ricard, I thought I did a long enough deal for him. I guess I'll just do another 2-year deal. Looks like the same contract. Patrick Queen, I will keep, even though he had a down year in real life this year, and he resigns. Chuck Clark, I don't think so. I don't need you. Gus the Bus, sure, you split carries. Even though you start regression, that's a pretty cheap deal. You'll resign. Justin, I will resign you as well. Even though you're not that amazing on the stat sheet, you're pretty good depth and you have a good development. Kevin Zettler, no. Nick Boyle, no. Duvernay, I will resign once I have a chance. And I will resign Malik Harrison because he has a pretty cheap contract. Who is Taylor Heineke? No. Tyree Phillips, yeah, I'll resign him since that's a really stupid cheap deal. But apart from that, guys, I don't think I want to resign anybody else. So it is now time to look at this breakout player, actually. Let's see. Coach, quick note, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Away. Okay, so Odafe Away has a breakout challenge. Let's see if he gets it against the Vikings. Let's simulate 1 week, and let's see if we can beat the Vikings. See if we're going to be 6-1, then tank the rest of the season. We lost. Now we're 5-2, but let's see how the breakout player did. Probably not good since they consider it, really disappointing. It was a 31-point game, so I didn't expect him to be amazing. So we're here to face the Titans. I'm just going to simulate to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs coming off a win to the Cardinals as we are finished 12-5, top of the division, probably a second seed here to face the 9-8 Bills. Yup, here to face the 9-8 Bills who are a 7th seed. We're a 2nd seed. That's awesome to see. Stats and awards, let's see what we got. Lamar, obviously not going to have good passing stats in a running scheme. 15th best offense, 19th best defense. 3,500 yards, 26 TDs, 10 interceptions, 68% completion percentage. Honestly, not bad for what he had. JK, thank you for finally breaking out. 17 TDs, 4.7 average, almost 1,500 yards. Great season for him. That should get a dev up. Bateman, 6 TDs, almost 1,000 yards. Mark Andrews, 901, 10 TDs. Pretty good seasons overall, receiving-wise for what they had to work with. Patrick Queen, 116 tackles. Bryce Callahan, 104. Tackles for a loss, 13 for Justin. Sacks, 13.5 for Odafe Away. That should get a dev up. Great season. 3 interceptions for Bryce Callahan and Marlon Humphrey. The safeties, 0 defensive touchdowns is 1 for Marlon Humphrey. So let's see what we can do against the Bills. What is our defense ranked in terms of points? Points per game is 16th, middle of the road team. That's fine. Yeah, that's cool with me. Anyways, let's see if we can beat the Buffalo Bills to move on to the divisional round like we did last season. And we do. 28-25, barely winning. That was the score with the Bengals and Ravens game in the last simulation that we had in the divisional round. But let's see if we can beat the 11-6 Jaguars to move on to the conference championship. I'm sure we'll lose because we never get that far. 31-28, another 3-point loss in the divisional round, of course. Anyways, let's move into the offseason. And the Chiefs beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, League MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. There are no Ravens here for the awards, unfortunately. Let's look at the roster, see if there is any development upgrades. JK should get an upgrade. And JK does get an upgrade to Superstar Dev, as he is now 91 overall without the boost, 94 with the boost. Lamar's 99 overall. Mark Andrews is a 99 overall. Defensively, looking into it, this dude named Hayes gets a dev up, sure. Away, has 13.5 sacks this year. Yeah, he's definitely getting a Superstar Dev, whether you like it or not. And I don't know if I'm going to participate in free agency with how little money we have, but I'm going to make sure Away gets that Superstar Dev, and he does. Cool with me. Bryce Callahan had the same amount of interceptions as Marlon Humphrey, but I'm going to keep his development trait the same. Beckham is a star dev. I'm cool with that. And I'm going to go into the re-sign players here to see who we have. I don't think we have a lot of money left in general. I want Tyree Phillips back and probably Malik Harrison, but that would probably be just about it. So let's see what we got for the 2023 retirements, and I'm going to go to the AFC North. David DeCastro retires on the Bengals. He was on the Steelers his entire life, so he goes to rival and retires. Players ready to negotiate. Chuck Clark, I already explained, no. Nick Boyle, no. Devin Duvernay. Sure, I'll take Devin Duvernay. Why not? It's a very cheap deal. He resigns. Malik Harrison, sure as well. I will resign him on that. Super cheap deal, and he resigns. Where is he? Tyree Phillips is a guy that I want back as well. Even though he will regress probably at the age of 30, it doesn't matter because we're going into our final season. So I'm going to go into free agency and see maybe what I could pick off for $18 million. Not very much, though. Here we are after free agency as I pick up DJ Reader, Jordan Poyer, and JC Treader for the team. I think that completes it. I'm probably going to trade away my first-round pick in the draft so that way I can just get overall better capital, I would say. Well, better player, because it's the fourth and final season. I don't want to develop a rookie. I'm trying to win now, so let's get into the draft. Okay, so about what I said about trading in the draft, I don't have that much cap room to trade, so nobody's willing to trade with me. So I'm picking up Cordell Peoples, normal dev, unfortunately. He's the best I found in the draft. I'll probably move him to outside linebacker. This is the team after the draft, and even though we did go 12-5 with the running scheme last season, I'm going to switch it up to a passing scheme to see if it changes anything. I know in year one, it wasn't all that great, but I'm willing to give it another chance here because what we have going for us with that running scheme, yes, we went 12-5, but we're not succeeding all the way. So let's try to see what we have. We have Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, Marquise Brown, Devin Duvernay. We have a great offensive line. We should be good. Defensively, Malik Harrison, Peoples does not seem that good. I'm still going to move him to left outside linebacker over the Hayes guy just because he's just going to be higher overall and the overall matters in the season. I'm not trying to develop anyone. So he should move up to like a 73 overall or something like that. 72 overall with the boost. So, yeah, we're looking pretty good. D-line has improved. We should be all right. So apart from that, guys, I'm going to skip to the playoffs because we do not need to be in the midseason mark. Here we are in the playoffs, making the playoffs, finishing 10-7, losing the division to the Bengals because we lost the Patriots in Week 18, unfortunately, 21-17. But we are the 6th seed here, face the 3rd seed in the Bengals. Nice stuff. Let's look at the stats and awards before we get into the playoffs officially. Lamar was amazing. Another MVP season for sure. 3rd, unfortunately, running backs dominate in Madden. Best offense in the NFL. I was right to make the switch. Defensively, 5th. Amazing year. And we were only 10-7. 5,300 yards, 51 TDs, 18 interceptions, 70% completion rate. And 18 interceptions is a little bit too much, but 51 TDs is ridiculous. JK, 10 TDs, 4.1 average is great. 1,100 yards, Lamar, 4.9 average, 0 TDs. He should be running the ball at least 100 times, dude. That's not right. Marquise Brown, 1,400 yards, 19 TDs. Devin Duvernay, 11 TDs, 1,200 yards. Bateman, 1,100 yards, 6 TDs. Andrews, 13 TDs, almost 1,000 yards. Amazing receiving season. And looking into it defensively, Patrick Queen, 112 tackles, 112 for Malik Harrison. Tackles for a loss, 18 for Justin and 18 for away. Sacks, 7 for Justin, 7 for away, and 7 for Tyus Bowser. Interceptions, 3 for LaMarcus Beckham, 3 for Bryce Callahan. Nice to see Beckham to get involved. And Marlon Humphrey also has 3 interceptions. Safeties on team, 0 defensive touchdowns is 0. So apart from that, guys, it's time to see if we can actually get past the divisional round or even the wild card. We might lose to the Bengals. They're actually pretty good in simulation and in real life. Okay, we stomped them. 49-14, 12-5 Jets, dude. I swear. Please, please, Please. Thank you. 42-21. You're going to face the 10-7 Patriots who beat us in week 18. So let's see if we can beat them in the conference championship. Let's get into it. Okay, so here we are against the Patriots in New England as they had a higher seed over us. 7-0, 10-0 against the Patriots. 13-0 against the Patriots. 13-3. 20-3. Come on, that defense is holding solid until now. 20-10. Come on. 27-10. Nice stuff. 27-17. Come on. 30-17. 30-24. They made a comeback there, but the defense held strong. Good stuff. We're moving on to the Super Bowl. And here we are on the Super Bowl, here to face the Seattle Seahawks, as this is already labeled a successful rebuild because we have made it to the Super Bowl. Let's see the dev upgrades. Marquise Brown, Devin Duvernay, both get a development upgrade. Should Rashad Bateman get one as 2? Because he had a great season as well. He didn't have the touchdown, so I'm not going to give it to him. But he did have quite a bit of receptions. Very good year. JK did not get a dev up. That's fine. Defensively looking into it. Callahan gets superstar dev. Peoples stays the same. Beckham stays the same. So Callahan was the only one to get a dev up. That's fine with me. So apart from that, guys, let's get into this game against the Seattle Seahawks. Here we are against the Seahawks as it is 0-0, obviously. 7-0. Come on, what do we got? 7-7. Nice stuff. 14-7. As you can see, they're not running the ball like they should have back against the Patriots. 24-14. 27-14. Good stuff. 21-27. 35-21. That might seal it. I think that will. 38-21, and we're going to win this Super Bowl. Successful rebuild. Wins it in the 4th year. Let's go. So hyped to see that. Let's go see who the Super Bowl MVP is. I'm sure it's Lamar. Lamar was an absolute savage in this final season. Super cool to see. Very happy with the way this team turned out. I really liked my offseason moves, too, at the beginning to make it a little bit more realistic. I don't think Deshaun Elliott would have stayed. A lot of people might debate that. He might stay for a prove-it year and don't get injured. But Lamar Jackson wins Super Bowl MVP. Should have won league MVP, too, but he didn't. But apart from that, guys, very, very cool rebuild. I really enjoyed it. Tell me which team you'd like me to rebuild next. This is the final overlook of the team before I leave. I really like how I rebuilt it and everything I got. So, once again, guys, tell me which team you'd like me to rebuild next, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.